Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Portfolio Game Development. This class, I'm going to teach you guys about resume writing, cover letters for the creative industry. As someone who has written many a resume and many a cover letter, I'm going to try to share with you some insights and some best practices. And at the end, I'll try to share some funny kind of anecdotes of times that I've had to kind of slip my resume in and how, I've tried to break into the industry. So, some break into the industry type of stories. All right. So, let us dive into today's class. All right. So let's talk about resume and cover letter for the creative industries. All right. So this uh, in this course, in this lesson, students will learn how to craft professional, targeted resumes and cover letters tailored to careers in 3D modeling, graphics, and art. Resumes and cover letters are your first impression in the creative industry. Even if your portfolio is amazing, employers will often look at your resume and cover letter first to decide if they'll even open your portfolio link. So that's true, and that's very important because you want to make sure you're putting your best foot forward, right? If you don't have any experience, this is, just a little bit, a little tidbit, right? If you don't have any experience in something, it might feel like you should say, oh man, maybe I could lie, or maybe I could do this, or maybe I could put, don't do it. Because you're going to get asked about it, you're going to get questioned about it, and if you get asked about it and if you're questioned about it, and you don't know how to do the thing that you've put on your resume, then it is going to be tough for you, right? It's going to be one of those things that it's going to tarnish your reputation, and you don't want to do that. All right? So put your best foot forward, shorten stuff, like you were a waiter, right? That's all the only experience you have. That's okay. It shows you have customer service, right? But it's better to put something that is true than anything that's a lie. So here are three things that I feel like employers look for. So they want a quick your resume, which is they want a quick um, snapshot of your skills, the tools, and your experiences. Your cover letter is a chance to show your personality, your passion, and connection to the specific role. So if you have like specific experience in level building, if you have specific industry experience in concept art, design, or something like that, if you have those specific skills, you can put it in your cover letter and then try to relate it to your resume. All right. So, and then your portfolio in art and design fields, clarity, relevance, and presentation matter just as much as your content. And that's one of the things I try to drive home with a lot of my students is that your presentation matters. It matters, especially if you're in the art field. It matters a lot because that's your bona fides. That's your presentation is your bona fides. Your presentation is all right. People almost judge your personal style, like how you dress, how you look on your art. So people will look at your art and they'll go, I can already imagine how this person looks. I can already imagine how this person dresses. Right? Like that's the thing about art is it feels like it gives you insight into the artist's life, right? How they might look, what they might have experienced, like what brought them to be able to have these kind of skills, right? When you think about different artists and different artwork, you know, so your presentation is super important. Like the hey, don't judge a book by its cover thing. That's not true in our field. You're judging books by their covers all the time. I mean, all the time. So, I say that to say that it's very important. Your presentation, alignment, making sure things have even spacing, they're justified, they're aligned, they're centered, right? There's equal amount of spacing. You're making sure the transitioning, it's reading left to right, not right to left, right? We're not reading Arabic, right? So the little things, right, that you might not think are important is very important because not only does it show your personality or your, who you are, it also shows that you have an attention to detail. And that's one of the things that's very important in this field is that you have an attention to detail because the worst thing that happens in the field for a lot of directors, producers is because at that point they're not trying to teach you anything. They want their projects to go off without a hitch and to be done in rendering the first time. They don't want to have to come back and re-render. They don't want to come back tomorrow and redo something or redo this or redo that or that's the last thing. Do you know why? Because every single day that you are on that project is costing them money. You are their bottom line, right? So the easiest way to make sure that you are hitting your deadlines, you're coming in under budget, and you are delivering quality work is if you make as little mistakes as possible. And the only way you're going to do that is if you have an attention to detail, right? Everything kind of flows back into everything. Attention to detail is very important in this industry. Trust me when I tell you it's very, very important. Clients, bosses, producers, directors, they want someone who's going to get in there. When you push the button at the end of the day, when you hit send, when you hit go, when you hit, render, when you hit, whatever you hit to forward that email or that work onto your boss, they want to know that it is complete. It is a quality work. They don't want to have to call you back. They don't want to have to say, hey, can you fix this? Hey, can you add this? Can you add that? They don't want to do any of that. They want employees who are self-sufficient, self-sustained, who are self-policing, right? And a lot of this goes back to how you present yourself. If you're presenting yourself in a sloppy manner, if you're presenting your work in a haphazard, affair, and everything, you have 50 different fonts, right? So it looks like you're super disorganized. Your mind is going all sorts of places. There's nothing justified. There's nothing with alignment, right? So now, if I can't get you to do these simple basic things for your resume, for your cover letter, for your portfolio, your pictures are off, and you might have the best pieces, but you're arranging them in a way that's driving whoever the HR reviewer, art director person crazy. They're not gonna get that far, right? So remember, keep yourself detail oriented. Keep your stuff looking polished, looking right. If you're going to use fonts, don't use more than 2 fonts. Please, I beg you, don't use more than 2 fonts. Don't use more than 1 or 2 colors, right? You don't want to just... Yes, we're artists and color is part of our thing, but so is style. So is presentation, so is detail, so is design. It's all part of it. These are philosophies that, now that I think about it, like I had to take individual classes on a lot of the stuff that I'm trying to give you guys now. Because like I had to take like a typography class. I had to take a graphic design class. I had to take a like all of the stuff that would get you on. You have, because of the track that we're in. We are in the 3D department. You have to almost know all the other disciplines. You have to know video, a little bit of video, a little graphic, a little illustrator. You have to understand those things because all of it informs your design. All of it informs your 3D. All of it informs your sketches. They're all tied in. Like those kind of principles of mastering simple, clear, relevant design, and it's keeping your stuff super detail oriented, right? So I feel like I've rambled on once again, but I try to drive the nail home, drive the point home to you guys about the importance, the ultimate importance of getting your resume down, getting your cover letter down, getting all of it down. And at the end of this, I'm also going to show you an example of mine where I made mistakes, what I did wrong. So stay tuned for that. Don't forget, don't miss that, because I'm going to show you my resumes and then I'll show you what I did to kind of fix it. All right. And yeah, we'll go from there. And this is the resume that I'm currently using, that I'm shopping around. So you guys will see what an active, professional in the industry is using. So yeah. So resume writing for creative fields. So here are the sections that you want to include. Contact information, no personal details here in the draft. So like, you'll put the lorem ipsum, whatever the lorem ipsum thing is. You'll put that there for now. On your final versions that you're sending out to industries or sending out to people, then you can, do what you want. But the sections to include your contact information, a summary, objective. So it's about 2 to 3 sentences describing your creative focus, whether it's 3D modeling, students specializing in character design and game environments, whether you're a concept artist, whether you're a video person, whether you're an illustrator. Then you're going to want to add the skills. So you want to list all of the relevant software that you are capable of using. All right? All the relevant software: Photoshop, Maya, Blender, ZBrush, Illustrator, Unity, Unreal, whatever you are comfortable using, definitely list it there. All right, and then you want to list the experiences that you have. So any projects that you've done, any internships, any freelance that you've partaken in, any team collab projects, because you guys are students, right? And the kicker, that people always say is, they want to pay you entry level salary and they want you to have 20 years of experience. And then you're like, I just got out of school. This is how I'm supposed to get experience. And they look at your resume and go, ooh, you don't have an extra experience. You're like, well, this is how I'm supposed to. How am I going to get experience if you don't let me work to get the experience? And I get that sentiment from being in the industry, working and stuff. I get that. I get that so much, because it's like, how am I supposed to have experience, right? You want me to have experience, but I just got out of school, and how am I going to build that experience if you don't want to give me the job? So I definitely can sympathize with some of those feelings, especially in this day and age that we're coming out in. And we don't want to ignore the elephant in the room, and the elephant in the room is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is going to change a lot. Right? It's going to change a lot of things in this industry. We can't pretend like it's not going to. We can't bury our head in the sand and say, oh, it's not going to happen. It's going to happen, and it's coming. So we have to be prepared, right? That's why I'm trying to get you guys to understand the basics, just the entry level stuff, so that you're at least on par with everybody else. And when you're on par, then you can go and try to change the rules, make the rules, see how you can use, different things to augment your workflow. All right. So you also want to put your education, the degree you have, what programs, certifications, if you've taken any courses, any accreditations that you may have gotten. Did you take a 6-month course to learn this project management program? Did you take a 8-month internship at Disney or Cal Arts or something like that? Any of those things will help in this, especially since you're students. If you want to put your hey, associates in this or bachelor's in this, learning this, portfolio link, and then always include your website, ArtStation or Behance if you use Pinterest. I don't know why you'd use Pinterest, but if you use Pinterest, you would put your Pinterest there. So any of the things that you may be using, any of the the popular thing right now is Linktree, which links all of it at once. So like I have a YouTube channel, I have a TikTok, I have Instagram, so I have a Linktree that links to all of it. So you just scan a barcode and it takes you to all of my information. So that's another avenue that I'm going to show you guys how to create. It's super easy to create these things, and these are the little things that'll make you guys just look just a tad more professional, a tad more like, all right, this person has taken this business seriously. This is their business, Because and I tried to tell you the first class, you're a business now. This is your business. This is your work. This is your livelihood. This is what you are supposed to be. If this is how you're taking it, you have to treat yourself like a business. Like, hey, I'm clocking in at this time. I'm clocking out at that time. I'm doing this, and this. I'm accomplishing these things. This is how my taxes will work. You want to get yourself. These are my contracts, like things like that, man. It just helps keep you organized so much, and it's very important. Here's some helpful tips. Keep it one page. A one pager, especially for people who are just getting out of school. A lot of you guys who are just up and running. A one pager is more than adequate. Highlight relevant projects or unrelated jobs, which is what I talked about in the beginning, which is like, like if you have something that's similar, put it in there, but don't start making shit up. Don't start making up stuff that you were the lead and this, because it's easy to call. I promise y'all, it's easy to call. Hey, the industry is a lot smaller than you think. The industry is a lot smaller than you think. The amount of separation that people think that it's not that much. I might know 2 people. You might know 2 people before I know somebody that you've worked with, right? And the people that are around you, your classmates, those are going to be your future co-workers, right? Be good to everybody. Be nice. Be kind. Be polite, right? These things are very important. It's very easy to do something for somebody who's nice to you. It's not very easy to do something nice for somebody who's not very nice to you. I don't make the rules. That's just life, right? So we are all saints. And sometimes if somebody said, hey, would you rather give this job to somebody you like, who's nice to you, who's polite to you, who says hi in the morning, who greets you, who does their work on time, who is, or this guy who does do his work on time, but he's rude, he doesn't want to talk, he's antisocial, he curses at you if you ask him a question or something. Who you want to give the job to? That's an easy thing to say. Like we would like to say, even if this guy's a little better, working with this guy is probably going to make my work life a little easier. And your job is to not only produce well and produce on time, but don't be a freaking pariah, and don't be a weight on the staff and your coworkers. You want to be pleasant to be around. You want to be approachable, right? You don't want to always be having your headphones in and they come to you like, hey Kyle, like what the hell do you want? None of that shit. Like you want to be cool. You want to be chill. You want to be approachable. Like that's like the best word, approachable. That doesn't mean be a doormat that people walk all over, but you don't have to be a dick. It doesn't, and that's for males and females. Like you just don't have to be that way. You can be a very nice person. You can be very kind. It costs you nothing. It's free of charge. It's actually free to be nice to people. I try to tell people this all the time. It's free of charge to be nice to people. So I implore people, be kind, be kind, be kind. It doesn't cost you a thing. All right. So cover letter. Let's see. Let's talk about the cover letter. The cover letter writing for creative fields. You're going to have your intro, the body, and the closing. These are the three main sections to the cover letter. And I'm going to also send this PowerPoint to you guys as well, so you guys will have all of this information. Don't feel like you're going to be missing out on something. I will send all of this. You'll have this for yourself as well. So intro, you want to state the position you're applying for, a brief hook about yourself. Like, as a 3D modeling student with a focus on stylized environments, I am excited to apply for the junior artist role at blah, blah, blah company, right? You want to state who you are, give them a positive, and I can do a backflip, a triple backflip. Yeah, don't put that in there, but you guys get what I'm saying. Then you want to get to the body, then you talk about, you connect your skills, the projects to the company's needs. So, hey, when I was in school, I worked on this team project and I was the junior artist on this, or I was the lead artist on this, which looks like the job that you guys are offering right here. And this is why I feel like I match the position, right? It's you're simpatico. You're trying to portray that, hey, that job that you got there, I kind of did it before and I was pretty awesome at it. Don't want to brag, but I'm the guy for the job, is essentially what you're trying to say. Like, that's what you're trying to get through across with the cover letter, right? Highlight 2 to 3 strong examples, game design projects, internships, portfolio pieces. And I tell you guys this all the time. Do not let the classes you take be the only time that you crack open ZBrush, that you crack open Photoshop, that you crack open any of these softwares to make a project. You should be working on projects for yourself. You should be working on projects with your classmates, your teammates, the people at school, your friends from back home. You should be constantly mired in ideas and projects and creative endeavors that you're putting out, right? You should not be letting school validate your creative process. All we are here to do is facilitate you being a professional artist. We are not here to substitute for the creative process for you. We are not your creative process. You are the creative process. And the only way you are going to get better at the creative process is if you do the work, is if you, on your own, do creative endeavors and make projects and make things and do cool shit outside of the class. Do things that inspire you, right? And that's one of the things I like to get across is get yourself out there. Go out, try something new, experience life, experience hardship, experience pain, experience happiness, joy, sadness. Like, do a bunch of things that makes you a more well-rounded, interesting individual. Learn to play an instrument, right? Fail at learning to play an instrument. Things like that make you a better, more well-rounded human being. Experience more things. All right? So in the closing, you want to express enthusiasm, thank them for their time, and invite them to view your portfolio. All right? That's the last thing you should do. Say, hey, I appreciate your time. Thank you for reading my resume. Thank you for checking out my work. I know that you guys are busy people, so any amount of time that you're willing to spare to give me some feedback would be amazing. All right, here's a link to my portfolio. If you would like to get in contact with me further, here's my number, here's my this, here's my that. I look forward to hearing from you. Boom. You wrapped it up. You did good, kid. You did good. All right. So always prioritize it to the studio/company. All right. You're in the art field now. You might have more than one skill. So at one job, they might be looking for a character concept artist. Follow me? You follow that? They might be looking for a character concept artist. But job B is looking for a vehicle concept artist. Would you then send the same resume, the same portfolio, the same everything from the character to the vehicle? You might have those two skills. Right? You very well may be able to do the characters and the vehicles excellently. But you need to tailor the environment or the vehicle for the vehicle and the character for the character. That is how it should be done. Don't give them generic-y kind of, because they can smell that from a mile away. And if you don't care enough, right, if you do not care enough to personalize it for my company, why should I believe that you would care enough to personalize your work or take your work seriously here? If you don't take it seriously enough to personalize it, then why would you take any work that I'm going to give you any kind of serious? So you're already eliminating yourself once they start seeing generic, generalist, when their job title is specific. So look for the job title, be specific to that job. Do a little research. Research what that job pays. Research what the job's responsibilities are. Chances are they've given it to you on the Indeed post. They've given it to you on the LinkedIn post. Wherever you're finding your job, Upwork, wherever you're finding the freelance, the full-time, they've probably posted what the responsibilities of that job are. Now it's your job to figure out where your skills align to those things, where your skills align to those responsibilities, and then you can mesh that together to produce a much more robust profile of yourself, right? Because what they're trying to do is put together this avatar of who you are. They're trying to figure out, all right, if I bring this person into the fold, if I bring them into my company, how are they going to gel? Are they going to, is their ideologies, or are they going to be able to work together with my staff? Are they going to be able to deliver things on time? What in their work shows me that this quality will produce the quality that I can deliver to my clients? All right? Or if it's a game, how do I know this person can finish this on time? What in their work shows me that? All right? So mention specific software or techniques that match the job posting. We just talked about this. Match the responsibilities. Match the software from the job posting. Avoid generic phrases like I'm hardworking and passionate. I just talked about this. Instead, show your passion through your projects and keep it one page or less. These guys want to be able to, they probably get hundreds, right? So you want to keep it 1 page, 2 pages max, right? And that's that. So here's some common mistakes to really try to avoid, right? Typos, inconsistent formatting, listing unrelated jobs without context. I talked about this at the top of the session. Just things like that really, it's not that it paints you, it just makes it look like you didn't read what they were requiring. And most of your life is going to be listening and then responding to what they actually want, not what you think they want from you. If somebody asks you for your skills, your education, your experience, give them your skills, your education, and your experience. Then if you want to go into some diatribe about whatever, give them what they're asking for. Because when you do that, you're closer to hitting what their checklist, whatever their checklist in their brain is. All right, this person knows this software. This person knows how to do this. This person communicate. This person's done this for 4 years. This person's done this for 2 years. This person has at least had customer service experience. Whenever you can check that box off in their heads, the better that you are going to be to getting that job. All right. So using the same resume and cover letter for every application. I've already kind of harped on this, right? And then for getting portfolio links. Always put your portfolio links in there. You don't want to forget you don't want to forget your portfolio links. All right? So here's the activity for the class. You want to draft a resume and a cover letter, upload it to the Brightspace for review and critique, and then look specifically at clarity, tailoring, formatting, and use of the strong verbs. All right? So here's my last little, before I go into my example for you guys. Your resume and cover letter, right? Your resume and cover letter, it's going to grow as you grow. There's not one way to do it. There's a lot of formats. There's a lot of like side by side, up and down, left to right. There's a lot of formats that you can do it. And there's never, it's not a once and done document, right? Because you have to think about it this way. You're growing. You are growing. You're going to work in different jobs. You may not work in the field for a while. You may go in and out of the field. I've known a lot of people where they're for even me, not even some people. Let me talk about me. Sometimes I've had 1 foot in the art, 1 foot in regular job status. 1 foot in art, 1 foot in regular job. For a good portion of my career, I was working Office Depot, and then Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I would go work at this architecture firm in downtown Dallas called Corrigan Media, right? This was early on in my career, but this was the kind of thing that you would have to do, right? Like, it's very, very fluid. And if you find something stable, you want to keep your portfolio. You want to keep yourself always churning. Because what I found out is if I had a job for like 4 or 5 years, I would fall in the habit of I'm good, I'm chilling, I'm moving along, and I wouldn't update my resume. I wouldn't do any new projects, right? Because you have to remember what got you to that job, what got you there was the habits of creating, building things, making projects, putting stuff out. Those are the things that got you there. And once you got there, you don't want to get all comfortable and complacent. What you want to do is step on the gas. Keep doing projects. Keep putting stuff out, because the inevitability of all things come to an end, when it does, right? You have pieces, you have portfolio pieces that you can use. Because the reason I'm saying that is you might be working, and because of the NDAs that you might have signed, you might not be able to release any of the work that you've been working on for the past 4 or 5 years. Some companies are gracious. Some companies are very graceful to you, and they'll say, hey, whatever you need to do, whatever projects that you've worked on, that you can use it on your next portfolio. But some companies, I've worked for companies where we work on military stuff. I can't show anything. Like, I can't show a single thing that I worked on, right? Because some of this stuff is classified. Some of the stuff is top secret. But I was able to, even when people say, oh, you can wink, wink, nudge, nudge, look, like I did that over there, that thing is, it's me, look, don't look, don't look, encrypted, you can encrypt some always be working on your own personal projects. Always be keeping yourself busy, creative, right? People will pay you to build their dream. Always be building your own. Don't forget. Don't put your own stuff by the wayside, right? Because those are the things that are going to make you better. Those are the things have gotten you to where you are today. So I try to implore people, even when you have a job, maybe once a month, once every 6 months, get a project, do a project, start something. You might not finish it, but you might get somewhere you enjoy. So that is it for that resume portion. Now, what I want to do is I want to go back and show you some do's and don'ts, some mistakes that I have made in my resume, my cover letter. So I'll show you what my current situation is. All right. So here is my current cover letter and my resume at the bottom. So the first thing that I would say is the issue with this guy is, if you look up here, this bad boy is 5 pages long. There is no recruitment officer. There's no recruitment officer that has time for a 5-page resume cover letter combo. They just don't have that kind of time. They have maybe 5-10 minutes to look at what you got, and if it's good enough, they'll either look at the portfolio link or send it to whoever the art director is. They'll say, hey, flagged a good candidate. They'll send it over and they'll look at it. All right. Even my wife does recruiting, and she goes, sometimes we just don't be having time to look at every resume, and so some will slip through the cracks. So the shorter and sweeter that you can make those your resume, your cover letter, to draw them in, the better you'll be. All right. So here's my summary. My name is Fatai Okpawaye, a 3D artist and developer based in Dallas, Texas. I have assisted in the development of VR and AR experiences for companies like American Airlines, Bell, BAE Systems. I am a designer satisfying a growing need for high-end VR and AR design. In order to deliver a tailor-made product, we work hand-in-hand with our clients to deliver their vision. We employ a myriad of cutting-edge techniques mixed with a traditional approach. Feel free to contact with any and all questions. Attached to the bottom is my resume and cover letter, which includes my contact information and link to my portfolio website. Thank you for your time. I hope to hear from you soon. Sincerely, moi. All right. So this is it's short, it's sweet, the intro. All right. And then I go into my work experience. And this is where if I'm the HR person, my eyes are starting to glaze over. Walls of text. I'm starting to get bored. This candidate has officially lost me. I'm seeing things here, right? Like when I worked at Van Shoe Outlet, right? This is not a good look. I'm trying to tell y'all. This resume is not a good look. I promise you. In here you can see I've got Vans. When I worked as a lifeguard in 2008. These kind of things are not useful in your resume. These kind of things, if I was looking for another lifeguard position, maybe this would be good, but it's not, because that's not the job. Working at the Van Shoe, if I can find a way to relate this to the job, right? This was okay to leave on my resume when I was still in school, like a lot of you guys are in right now. When I was still in school, and when I was still in school. That's it. That's it. When you're in school, it's okay, because you can say, listen, I don't have a lot of studio experience, but I do have customer relation experience. I know how to talk to people. I know how to be a service person. I can take instruction very well, and I can follow orders. Be a good company man, so to speak. All right. So yeah, this is not a good look. And then I have in between, I was a 3D modeler at Lukewarm Studios, and then I have like Gap when I worked at the. I told you I worked. Your boy was hustling out here. I'm a hustler, And then 3D modeling and persuasive, picture plane, marketing manager, reliable refunds, Clay PM training, Corrigan. This is when I worked downtown. At that architecture firm, then Sector 5, then teaching. So, like, this, if somebody wanted to get to know me, cool. Like, I feel like at some point in time, this is going to go back to when I was in Nigeria. Then it's going to go back to when I was born, right? Like, this is the kind of resume where you're just like, all right, this guy, like, all right, so who was your first babysitter? Like, this is that kind of resume. And you don't want this over complex, overindulgent kind of resume. What you want is something that is short, sweet, and to the point. Enter my new, more condensed resume. All right? So here, I give you my information, my basic info, right there, all right? And then I give you my skills. Then I give you my experience. I give you my experience, and all of it is relevant to art, right? And then I give you my software proficiency, my education, and this is all relevant to art. And then I even specified it for the industry that I'm going into. So this is a specific resume for a specific job in a specific field, right? Not this rambly, like, back in my day when I worked at the creek and me and Jimmy Joe, we used to go to the, like this is long, overtly, it's cumbersome to read. Right? So this is what, and that's why I'm using my own. So this is a resume that I've used recently, not too, like probably a week ago, if anything, I think. So this is what I'm trying to show you guys is like 5 pages versus 2 pages max. All right? You can really accomplish it on 1 page, So that is that on the resume portion. So now you guys should have your assignment. You guys should have the lecture. I will send you the PowerPoint of it, and then I will, just post your responses, post your resumes and cover letters on Brightspace, and then we can take a look at them and move forward from there. All right. This is Ty. This is game development, portfolio game development. I'm your instructor, and I will see you soon. Don't forget to check out the video, check out your assignment, post on Brightspace, and let me know if you guys need any assistance with anything. I'm always here to help. Send me an email, message, Discord, team meetings, anywhere. Email. I've been responding to a lot of emails lately, so email as well. All right. Have a good rest of your day, guys. Look forward to seeing you.